Alright, good morning. Good morning to you, no matter your time. Good morning. Okay, just making sure schedule. Alright, I need to put myself to timer so that once this is done, yeah. Alright, thank you for joining. If you're joining us, thank you very much for joining. This is workflow. This is workflow. I've been doing this for years and I realized that even online there's no special tutorial for it. People just kind of put it, people just find a way around it. And if you're like me who has started using Illustrator, in fact Adobe programs, and find it very difficult to go back to other programs, then you know that this is exactly what you need. Okay, I hope my mic is loud enough. Please let me know if my mic is not loud enough. I really need to know. Alright, so welcome back. Today I'm going to show you one of the most important workflows every designer needs to know. How to move smoothly between Illustrator and Photoshop when designing. Something like a brochure, now a lot of people get confused about linking, embedding, and what happens when you move your files around. And trust me, if you get this wrong, it can totally mess up your project. That's true. So at the end of this session, you will understand when to embed, when to keep things linked, how to avoid broken files, and why using Illustrator together with Photoshop makes you so much faster. So let's dive in. First thing I'm going to talk about is setting up the brochure design project. So setting up the brochure design project is going to be the first thing. So we're going to start from Illustrator. This is Photoshop, so I'll just quickly move to Illustrator. And for this, I'm going to set up a new layout. So one of the things you should know about Illustrator while I'm setting this up is Illustrator is a vector-based design, and it's perfect for brochure layout, logos, text, what have you. Okay, design there. Not fit now, so we'll go for print, and maybe A for. We'll keep our color RGB since we're just designing for online. Okay. We're going to do landscape. Let's assume that this design is going to be folded into two places, so we do landscape. So our artboard, you can just put like 5 pp. Yeah. Okay, so with everything set, don't worry about this, just create. So I just want you to imagine I was setting up a brochure. I've created a new document just as you see, and set up the whole thing. Alright. Before we start dropping images, let's talk about something important, which is embedding and linking. Because Illustrator gives you the choice to either embed the image inside your file or link it from an external source, and that choice makes a very huge difference. If you're embedding the image or embedding the file, or you are linking it from another source, they are two different things. So let's understand what those two different things are first. First of all, you need to come to your window and look for links. Okay, your Windows menu, look for links. It doesn't have the shortcut. You can put one if you want. So links is something you activate is already here for me. But as you can see, the entire panel is empty because there's nothing on this document yet that is from external. Okay, so this links panel deals with anything that is external to Illustrator, meaning Illustrator didn't create the file, it just came from outside into this place. So we're going to try something to bring in a logo or bring in something. Okay, so I'll first of all bring in one of my recent quotes design. I'll just drag that in. I have 3 monitors, so in case you can see one of the monitors or 2 of the monitors. So immediately I drag this in, it comes with that X thing. See that? So that X thing shows up here. It tells us that this is a linked file. It's coming from an external source. That's why we have that X marked on it. This is saying that it is linked. Okay, it is linked. And you can, under the links panel, you can see that the name of the file from its outside source, not the name given to it here, is post2-1 JPG. Okay, so it's a JPG file, and you have a link there. It's telling you it's linked. All right. Okay, so that's exactly what you should know about linking. The next thing is that if you don't want it to link, it means that it's going to become an what's called part of the files in Illustrator. Okay, and now one type of file we have linked is JPEG. We can also link PNG. Yes, we have a PNG, and then PNG. This is a PNG. It's a WhatsApp icon. It's a PNG. Yeah, you can also link it. It's still linked. Okay. So and so on and so forth. You can link many other types. You can also link the Photoshop work. Okay, let me look for one Photoshop work. Let's see. Okay. So this is a Photoshop work. So you can actually do 2 types, and I just drag this one in, and of course we could use this one to work. You can actually use the file place. Okay, place. I changed my shortcut to Control I, okay, because I came from CorelDRAW and that's what we use to import files. So you can do your own shortcut thing. So you can use the word place. The action place from file menu place, and click on it, and then go browse about the file. But clicking and dragging is swifter for me because I have multiple screens. I just click and drag the file into the application. Alright. Okay, so let's say the next one is using Photoshop files in Illustrator. So let's say now I designed a photo or edited something in Photoshop. Alright, I'm going to use this. Maybe it's an image I want to place inside this brochure. When I bring it into Illustrator, I get 2 options. Okay, if I link it, Illustrator keeps it as a live connection to my Photoshop file. That means if I update the file in Photoshop, it automatically updates here in Illustrator. Okay, if I embed it, Illustrator takes a snapshot of that file and stores it inside the AI file. Alright, when we want to save this work, we can save. Okay, let me just quickly save it. We can save it. Of course, we have a name given to it, Brochure design. So this is an academy work. So let me just go straight to that. Design. Brochure design tutorial. And click OK. Okay, so let's imagine I made this thing portrait. I could actually go back and change it to landscape, no problem. Let's say for instance, we can still do a portrait. I'll just reduce it a bit here. Alright. Okay, so it's there like that. Now, if I go to properties, I go to my properties panel, I have this option here under the quick actions to embed. I also have the option to edit in Photoshop. Now I'm not going to embed this Photoshop as an example. I'm only going to embed one of all these here as an example. So that you notice what happens when we embed. What this means is that it's no longer connected to the outside file. Yeah, it's no longer connected there, meaning any changes we make on that file outside where it's coming from, it will not even affect what's going on here in Illustrator. So if we embed this WhatsApp, for instance, it means now that Illustrator owns this file. This also will contribute to the file size of Illustrator. Yes. So if Illustrator was previously some kilobyte, by embedding a file, you now make the file size to increase. Okay. So that's something you should be aware of. Alright. So it increases the file size each time we embed the file. Okay. So, but if I don't embed it, Illustrator keeps it as a live connection, like this one we have to Photoshop, and it says editing Photoshop. It keeps as a live connection to my Photoshop file. That means if I update the file in Photoshop, it automatically updates here in Illustrator. But if I embed it, Illustrator takes a snapshot of that file and stores it inside the file. Okay. Some of the big mistakes most designers make is that they just drag the PSD, save, and then later they are shocked when Illustrator says, hey, this link is missing. That happens because the file wasn't embedded and Illustrator lost track of the link. Okay, what this means is that, let me go show you where I drag this file from. Into the screen. So this was where I drag this file from, front side. That's the name of the file. You can also see it when we come to the link. Yeah, front side the PSD. Okay, so this is a file. Now something can happen if I move this file. Let me create a folder here and say, and name the folder move. Okay, so if I move this file into that move folder, Illustrator will lose track. Look at what it's saying. This is already like an error. It's popping out. Some files are missing or modified in the links panel, which is here. Would you like to update them now? Okay. If you say no, it will just stay for a while, but after some time it will keep popping up. And then in the link there, you see, notice that that's a missing link. It's broken. It can't locate it any longer. When you dragged it, you didn't inform it. That's a funny way to look at it. Okay. So one of the things you might be doing is while you're working, that stuff can pop up again at any time without your consent. It just pop up and tell you, hey, this file is missing. You no longer have access to it. That's it. It shows up again. So if you want to avoid this, it's better to just update it. So we can say yes. And once you say yes, it will tell you to could not find the linked file on site.bsd. Choose replace to select another file. So that first option was for you to either update it if something changed in the file. But it also means that if you did not see the file itself, this error will pop up. So you can choose to replace, and you can apply to all. If you have many files you moved like that, you can also apply it like that. So if you say replace, then you go back. If you say ignore, you keep having the pop-up again and again. So best in best, just solve the problem once and for all. So for that project, that particular project, okay, I know it is. Let's go straight to where it is. Move, yeah. So I can go there now and locate the file. Actually, it will be here waiting for you, giving you the finding that this is the finding you are looking for. So when you come here and you find it, you can either select the file or just click on replace. And once you replace the link, watch what happens to the link. It goes back to the link. So that's exactly what's happening. So now let's talk about working in Photoshop and then updating Illustrator. Okay, so I just showed you how to fix a broken link. So I'm going to edit in Photoshop. Automatically, what this does is to open straight to Photoshop. This is the file. Then, funny enough, you see all the layers. So these are the layers that are inside this file. This is just a picture, and then something else, vector. Okay, we'll come to that. But this is a picture and something at the base. Okay, something that we are using to clip mask the picture. So meaning without the clip mask, if we remove the clip mask, Control G. Yeah, so this is the picture. This is the picture. Now these are changes we have made. A change we have made rather. And if we save it, for instance, it will definitely reflect. You just need to wait for it to save completely. This is has completely saved. And then if we go back to Illustrator, or maybe we can just do this side by side. Yeah, side by side with Illustrator. Yeah, it already tells me some files are missing. This is exactly what I was wanting us to see. Let me say no for now so that I can decide. Yeah, so it pops up again. Okay, and then I can say yes. What happens to the file? Yeah, it updates. So that's exactly how this works. Okay, that's something you should know. So I don't know if I've explained something. So the main layout and test work is done here in Illustrator. When we come to Illustrator here, this is where we can put the main layout. Okay, let's say we're going to make this wider. We're going to introduce a text here and pull up. Okay, and put a text. Title it teaching practice. And I use a font called Merriweather. Okay. I'll give this a color. So I'll give it this color. Alright. So one of the things you notice is that I find it very easy to work with text here, unlike Photoshop. For Photoshop, if you're a Photoshop user, you notice that if you were to do this, just look at how many minutes it took me to just type this completely, and then everything is done. Okay, if I was to try this in Photoshop, I'll spend more time just trying to select the text too. Okay, Photoshop is a raster based, and raster based is it deals with images. Text is something difficult for it to do most times. If you click most times, it will take its time before it will load text and all that. Now I'm typing. Same thing. Okay, teaching practice. But you can see how it lags behind. Even just to type text, it lags behind, and that's something you might not want. Okay, when I press it, it takes time to load up and all that. So if I want to go and select the font, also is the same thing. And when when it starts getting heavy, meaning more files coming in, it start messing up. So if you ask me, Photoshop is not something you use to design a brochure. Now you're not going to enjoy it. Okay. For selecting the color, let me just put a color like this. Okay, for a start, and go back to my. I'm dragging here. Okay, it looks easy because we don't have much files here. But when we start getting more things into this place, when the files start getting heavy, trust me, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be here at all. Okay, so this is only good for maybe I want to work on the pictures, because why should we even have just a picture like this in Photoshop? I mean, yes, why should we connect? The question is, why should we connect Illustrator and Photoshop if all we have is just a picture like this? But no, the essence is not just because of the picture, it's because of the effects that come to Photoshop. For instance, let me see, I have my I have Bridge open here, so I'm going to go for lens and get one of those lens flares. I will add to project and bring it in. Okay, you see, this is one thing we can do with Photoshop, maybe let's change the blend mode to overlay, right? Instead of overlay screen. Turn this better now. And just okay, let's use highlighting. Make it big. Okay. So there's something we're trying to work on. And let's say for the what's it called, the picture itself, introduce a mask and take a brush and then just to blend it into the background, change the brush to black, the opacity 70%, okay, reduce it. These are effects we can apply very quickly. Photoshop is very fast about it, but Illustrator cannot do this as fast. I don't even know how to do this in Illustrator, to be very honest with you guys. So this is something I can achieve quickly with Illustrator. And let's hide this guy first and then save it. Let's save it. Okay. While it's saved, go to Illustrator, and then of course you notice the change. Yeah, so that's something that comes in quickly. Okay, and the text still remains there. Alright. Now you can adjust the color and all that. If you want to really work on the image itself, you can go back, select the image itself, open your camera raw, apply effects that you want. You want to make it maybe it's just the guy that is going to be the colored guy, so you can work on him, work on the guy. You can mask here to just mask in camera raw. There are tutorials on this in case you don't know, and if you want you can just say it in the comment. I'll make tutorial on this. So just work on the guy, see the way I'm making it cool, adding some vibrancy, saturation, yeah, add some textures there, and then clarity and all that. Okay, so I'm able to touch the picture a bit. It's going to pop out now. Yeah, it's making sense now. It's looking very richer than before. Okay, let's remove that lens flare for now. Okay, and then maybe from here we just apply the black and white adjustment layer. Okay, then use our brush to mask him out. I'm not doing a very good job here, but trust me, you can do a better job if you are doing your own. Okay, so let's just say that he's the only one we want to focus on. So that's why we're masking him. Let's hide this lady. Okay, so he's the one we're working on. Yeah. So when you are done with all your effect application, and then you save. Once you save, go back to your Illustrator. Still saving, but once it's done, it will always pop out in Illustrator. Go back to Illustrator and just keep doing your thing. Add your text as much as you want to add the text. Okay. Let's leave it to place with that text. Alright, so add your text as much as you want to add. You can even lock the layer if you don't want to be moving things around, because it's very annoying to be seeing this thing, this text. For me, it's very annoying. So let's update first and I'll show you. So once it becomes a little bit heavy from Photoshop, you always have that stuff coming out generating pixels. Okay, so I think this color is fighting each other, so let me just change this color to something something from the cloth. Yeah, teaching practice. Okay, so we can lock this layer by just going to the object. I have a shortcut for it already. Lock selection, the one that is selected. So it locks now. You won't have to see that X again. It's really annoying to see it personally. Okay, let's drop this black to harsh, because the black is too harsh on the eyes. Yeah. Okay, this text we can drop it to regular. It's becoming balanced now. So you can see already that we are already having a page of a brochure. If you would, you can do 2 columns. Okay. Quickly. You can do 2 columns and we're already having the style of a brochure. Actually, the text is pretty big. I don't mind. I just have the eye for this brochure thing. Yeah. So make sense and balanced. Okay. So that's something you should know. Alright. So next is file management best practices. There's something many people forget: moving files from one PC to another. Okay. If you just copy your AI file, this particular file here, chances are some links will break. Safer way is to use Illustrator's package. Okay. There's a feature called the package feature in Illustrator. Okay. It's very easy to locate. All you just need to use is say file package. Alright. When you use this, what happens is that once you click on it, documents must be saved first before continuing. Yes, if you don't have any, if you have not saved, you force upon you to save. And when you save, Illustrator will ask you the location where to save it, so you can browse and where to save it. Maybe create a folder for it. And most times, which is the best designs. So let's call the folder Brochure tutorial and select that folder. So it stays here, and then the title. Okay, it's actually going to create a folder inside a folder. So the options you will check now is copy links, collect links in separate folder, link files to documents. In fact, everything about links is going to sort it out. Copy fonts, create reports. This font is very important, okay, because you really want to make sure that if you're passing this file to somebody else, a designer, or you yourself, you are traveling, so you are not carrying your big PC, you're just going with your small laptop. This is also very important that you don't get there and start looking for how to get the font back. Okay, so you just package everything, and then it's just telling you this thing is something to be aware of. So it is save the relinked file. Let's go straight to the document. Package created successfully. To view the package content, press show package button. So we just open straight to the folder where we have it saved, and we have our fonts there. Meriwether, bold and regular were used, correct. We have links. We have these two, front side and this. Of course, we embedded the WhatsApp, so the WhatsApp is no longer part of it. So for this guy came with us, it's part of it. And then the reports, Brochure design tutorial. Sorted reports. Somehow to be repeated. Okay, just color mode, color profile, blah blah blah. That all makes sense. Yeah. The Brochure design tutorial. So this is the main file, this is the main Illustrator file that we copied. Well, you see, it's just 5 MB. I want to open to the link file. Our Photoshop here is an MB, 31 MB. So if we were to embed our Photoshop inside this file, it will add to the file size of Illustrator, which is just 5 MB. Okay, so that's something for you to take note. Okay, so wrapping up now, and a quick recap is that Illustrator is a vector-based, perfect for layout. Photoshop is just a raster based, perfect for editing images. Okay, link files if you want live updates, embed them if you want Illustrator to carry a file with you. Always keep assets in one folder or package. Okay, or package them for movie. Okay, and if you start using this workflow, you save hours, avoid broken files, and the designs will just look more professional. So if you found this helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe, drop your questions in the comment, check out my other tutorials. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.